My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with IRS. I've worked about, 10,000 cases. I worked at IRS over a decade. I've been in private practice for 40 years. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Me and my M&M man kind of give you a thumbs up for being here. You know, I started about a year ago on YouTube, and I kind of really like it. I guess I'm a bit of a ham. You know, I've watched a lot of YouTubes from other people, and most of them are all crap. These are people who tell you this and tell you that. It takes 5 minutes for me to tell you what you need to do. As a former IRS agent, I cut through all the crap, the baloney, and just tell you what's really important to you at about a 30,000 foot view. I like to go ahead and kind of rip the curtain back and show you what the IRS thinks about cases and not give you a lot of bull crap about whatever they're trying to sell to you. I certainly do resolution work myself. I'm an expert in this, but my YouTubes are usually just informational and educational, so you can make the decisions, in fact, that you want. So today I want to talk to you about the top three kind of programs to go ahead and settle your debt. What are they? What are the main programs that you need to know about? And there's three. If you have an outstanding case with Internal Revenue Service, they're going to close your case one of three ways. You need to know that, and you need to know how they're going to do that. So as a former IRS agent, I have to find a way to evaluate a case. How do I evaluate a case? I need a universal form that IRS uses called a financial statement. It's a 433A if it's in the hands of the local revenue officer, a 433F if it's in the hands of the service center. That's the 1-800 number in most cases are. IRS needs to have a document. They're either 2 or 3 or 4 pages long, and IRS is going to want to take a look at the completed statement, to look at assets, to look at income, and to look at expenses. That's what IRS is really looking for. They're looking to collect the money. So there's 3 general programs that IRS uses to go ahead and to close their cases, and they're hardship or currently non-collectible. They're payment agreements or installment agreements, and they're the offer and compromise program. So as an agent, like I said, I have worked thousands of these cases, and I want to talk to you just very briefly about all 3 of them. The currently non-collectible or hardship program means that IRS has looked at your financial statement, and they have determined that you can't pay the money at the current time because you don't have the income, and your expenses are kind of the same as your income, or you're just not cutting it. But what you have to understand is IRS has a national standard program that you must be aware of for either 3 of these top programs, and you have to know what those are. So IRS is going to dictate to you what you can spend for food and clothing, housing and utilities, car payments, and car operation costs. You must stay within their standard. Do not call the Internal Revenue Service on your case unless you know what those national standards are. You could go to irs.gov, and you can go national standards for housing and utilities. Housing and utilities, by the way, is it's by state and by county. The food and clothing, it's a national chart. Car payment, national chart. Car operation, it's kind of regional. So they're going to determine what you can spend. So if you're making $6,000 a month, and IRS determines you can only spend $4,000 a month because of where you live, you got a $2,000 payment to them. That's why you do not call IRS unless you know or you've talked to someone with some reasonable degree of competency. If you don't make enough money and you're just barely calling them yourself, it's a small case. If you're talking $50,000, $60,000 and up, don't do this by yourself because you're probably going to have some issues. The other thing you can do is get a payment agreement. Some payment agreements can go online. Other payments, you give IRS the financial statement and you work out a monthly payment. Depending on what your income and expenses are, sometimes it's okay to call a person like me if, like I said, you owe a lot of debt. If you just want a payment and pay them out over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Up to 6 years, you can just go online and do that yourself, but there's some cautions. The last program is called the Offer and Compromise, where you can settle your debt for pennies on a dollar. So it's a longer, complicated form. You're going to have to fill out a 656 form. You're going to have to fill out a 433 AOIC. And once again, you got to be cognizant of the settlement formula. IRS is looking at two things for you. They're looking at what your total liquidity is. They're not going to settle for any less than your liquidity. If you have $80,000 worth of assets, that's what the sum total is. They're not going to settle for any less than 80. They want the full 80. Don't even bother submitting an offer. It's going to be accepted, and don't give somebody, that's not going to be accepted. Don't give your money to someone because you're wasting it. Now, IRS will discount your home by 20%. So if your total liquidity value is $80,000 for your assets, that is pension and furniture and house and all that, that comes up to 80. IRS isn't going to accept less than 80. Keep your money. You're probably going to have to work a payment agreement out with IRS. And once again, IRS is going to take the national standards. They're going to look at your income and your expenses, and they're going to determine how much you can live on a month. And then IRS is going to use that multiplier by how many lumps you have left on the statute. So if you have $1,000 left over a month and you have 5 years left on the statute, IRS is going to use a 60 multiplier to come up with what you can settle your debt on. If you have any questions, it sounds confusing, call me. We do representation work. Call your own accountant. Call whoever you want. But more important, leave me a subscription if you can. Apparently, YouTube thinks subscriptions are the bomb. It helps me kind of move up the chart. So if I gave you anything today that was valuable, I need a subscription. You can give me a like if you want. It's not important, believe it or not, it is a subscription. But anyway, I'm always here for you. You can send me a text. You can send me an email. I'll leave a comment. I always answer my comments by the end of the week. Thank you.